Hello everyone. Today we're making the Flatwoods Monster out of clay. And I have 3 different colors here. A gray that I've just mixed black and white together. A red that I added a little bit of white to. Just these basic primary colors. And this is a blue with a little yellow added. I'm trying to make the colors close to the Flatwoods Monster. So, let's start. I'm going to separate this into 2 sections. One for the upper body and one for the lower body. And the upper body is maybe 1/3 and the lower body is 2/3 or maybe even 1/4 to 3/4. The top's much smaller than the bottom. I think that might be good. We'll see how it sits. Then we'll just kind of turn this into a cone if we can with our fingers. Doesn't have to be a good cone at all. We'll just squish it down. Make that cone. We're gonna alter the shape of it a little. It's kind of like the dress bottom, so we want it to kind of flare out more at the bottom end. I think that looks okay on the top. Okay, that's decent. I feel like we could maybe even make it a little smaller. I think both of these could be just a little smaller. Take a little clay off both. Re-roll that ball. Okay, and then just seal up that side. Push it together. Then form the cone again. Want to make sure to get rid of that line. Just smooth it over. Kind of just rotating it slightly like this and pushing on the top while pushing down with my thumb at the same time, kind of alternating. And there we have a decent looking little dress, I'd say. Now I'm gonna take this paintbrush, or you could use really any stick. Something like this would work, but it's a little thick. I'm gonna kind of try to push waves into the dress if I can. Just little dents, trying to almost make it come to a point like that, so it's kind of flowing in and out like a dress would. Back there. That's pretty nice, I think. It's not that amazing, but hopefully it'll all come together nicely in the end, like it usually does. Let's just redefine some lines in here. It's hard because it can so easily be removed if you use too much force. If you find your clay is too soft, you can throw it in the freezer to harden it up a little, which my bottom half is almost getting a little soft here. But we'll add our ball on there. Okay, that's decent. I'm gonna just squash it down a little bit so it's firmly sealed. Let's see, where's my handy paper clip that I like to use? Pull that out. I'm just gonna kind of push it in the bottom dress into the top part. So it has a more firm seal. Then I'm gonna go around from the top half and try to push that in also. Just very slightly, trying not to deform it too much. Okay, now that that's there, we'll take the brush and kind of lightly push the top of the dress almost to smooth it out. And then I'm going to push down on this top ball again a little to firmly seal it. Okay, I think that's a decent little waist. It's a bit more of a line down there than I would have liked, but it looks pretty nice to me. Okay, we also have this nice wire that I'm going to use for the arms because they're very thin, so I need something sturdy to set them on. So I'm just going to feed this right through the center of this clay. Right through, very gently. And it should be coming out the other side. There it is. Okay. Now we'll just pull it through. Be gentle with it, because I'm sure it's not super straight and we don't want to completely ruin the insides. Okay, that should be long enough for the arm on that side. Clean the clay off the string, or the wire. And push in to seal the hole a little. Okay. There we go. I think that's a bit of a long arms if you ask me, so we're just gonna snip them a little shorter. Can always remove more later if we find they're still too long, but we can't add more on, so be sure to make them longer rather than too short. Okay. Nice. Let's add a little bend in them where the elbow would be. You can put them in whatever style you'd like. Gonna have it kind of like this, so one arm's more up and one's to the side. Okay. Now I'm gonna wash my hands because they've got some green clay on them, and I'm going to move to a new color and I don't want to infect it. So I'll be right back. Okay, now I'm gonna try to make this a more straight bend rather than a curve. There we go. Because it has a pretty strong bend and a kind of circle almost on the edge. So we'll cut a little piece off. Cut two little pieces off. And now we pull out our trusty top loader, as we normally do. Pick up that extra clay. And we should wipe off our surface so that we don't infect any colors. Okay. And the top loader. And then we'll just start rolling this out. Very light pressure. Don't want to squash it. Just want to very slowly roll it out into a nice thin stick. The thickness of the arm, whatever you think looks about good. That looks good to me. So it's gonna be hard, I think, to put this fully on the wire. But we're gonna try our best. Oh, that one might have been a little short. We shall see. This part's probably gonna be tricky, but we'll just take it nice and slow. We might even have to change our plan of how we do this, because I don't think this is gonna work. No, I don't think this will work, unfortunately. So we're gonna have to wrap it, I'd say. And that's gonna be a bit different, but we'll just squish this log we just made. And now it's a nice strip. Oh, it's a little stuck on there. We'll have to try again. We'll clean it off this time. Okay, and we'll try it with this one. Squish it down nicely. And we're gonna try to, no, it's doing the same thing as the other one. Maybe the clay's too soft. Oh, that's coming off. Okay. If you can see. That's an okay little piece. So we'll just set it on and wrap it up. Wrap up the wire. Perfect. Sorry if I blocked that with my hand. But now we've wrapped up the wire with our gray piece we had right there. There. Now we have a nice thin hand that's sturdy and not gonna melt when we bake it in the oven. Okay. Now, it looks like it has little hands and elbows as well, so we'll have to make those. But we'll squish this one down. Okay, and then we'll just peel it off with our little knife. This one isn't working well. I'll have to make a new one, which is fine. It's not that big of a deal if they don't turn out. It's really easy to just roll out a new one. I think my clay is too soft, which is why this is not working. And if you had a little bit more time, you could easily just throw it in the freezer. And it should harden right back up. Or I believe another method was maybe the oils of your hands got too much into it. So you will have to maybe set it on paper towel or something like that. And it'll slowly absorb the moisture out of the clay. Which hopefully hasn't happened to mine. Hopefully it's still fine to use. Maybe not going to push as hard with this one. Be a little softer. There we go. It's already coming off a little nicer. So we'll just peel it off. There we go. Perfect. Okay, now we'll just wrap up the other arm. So we'll start right at the base. There. So you can see, I'll bring it in a little closer. And we'll just wrap it up. Wrap that part up. And then wrap that part up. Perfect. Just need to seal it up a little. Maybe remove a little off the end, because it's a bit long, this one. Okay, let's take our paper clip, maybe push it into the body. Nice and easy. Same on this side. Okay. Now, we can actually, instead of just cutting this off, we'll just roll it up into a ball. Hopefully for the hand. I feel like this might be a little long of an arm. I'm not sure. Let's see. I think that's okay. It's also kind of moved out. I wanted it more up like that. There we go. It's all twisting there. Okay, I feel like these elbows are going to be kind of hard to do. I think we'll just take some of this string, or the straight part we've rolled out, cut off two little parts, and just wrap them around the elbow. We'll do that on both arms. Wrapped around the elbow. Okay. And just push them very softly so they're nicely attached. And here we have our body. I think I'll just add two little balls on each end. The fingers seem pretty tricky to me, so I don't think I'm going to add any fingers onto the body or onto the hand. They'd be quite fragile. We'll do this the same way as the elbows, except we're just using a bigger ball, if we can. Okay. Break off another little piece. And we will wrap it around that side. There we go. That's decent little arms. Pretty hard to do stuff when it's that small. Now we'll work on the head, which is two components. I think we're all done with this gray, so we'll move it off there. Clean off our workstation, ready for the red. And we didn't really get our hands too covered in the gray, so we probably are good for washing on it. Let's see. let's cut this in half. We'll use half for the ball and half for the mane of the head, or whatever you want to call it. Get all that clay off the knife. Okay. So, just gonna take this. See if I can't turn this into a nice ball. Or a ball shape at least. We'll do the same with this one. Okay. Now actually form it. Uh-oh, we got a little infection on our red. It's a little green on it. So I'm just gonna cut that off because I don't want any green on here. Okay. Now we'll turn it into the head. That does seem a little small, so this one is a little bigger. So we'll try this one for the head. The head seems to be bigger than the body, the main ball, but this looks like it might be a little smaller. Which doesn't look too bad, I'd say. I think that looks fine to me at least. Maybe push it down. Now, this is where it gets tricky. To make this mane of sorts. I'm not quite sure. I think we'll just try to squish down this ball. But it's not gonna squish that nicely. We can't make it too thin because it'll just flop in the oven. So it still needs to be relatively thick. And then I guess we'll just try to make a shape if we can. Kind of cut off a corner and then it comes up to a point and then it comes down from that point, almost mirroring the other side. And bring it down. It's not quite a mirror. In fact, it's pretty bad. That's okay. We'll just shave a little off this side. In fact, we'll shave a little off here. I'm just gonna cut the base off. If you can see what I'm trying to form here. The kind of mane section, or the hair, whatever. Like a lion's mane, when I say a mane, not like the main focus. That's not really what I meant in there. And we'll cut out the little head shape. Just doing a rough guess of what shape it's gonna be. Uh-oh, I probably should have removed this whole thing off the top loader before, because that was pretty thick, or pretty firmly pressed on. Oh, that's not too bad. Now that it's off, we'll try to slightly shape it with our fingers, and we'll put it on the head. Looks okay. I think this part could be a little further out, so we'll just put a little force and stretch it. Take our handy paper clip and just very gently push all around, almost sliding the mane. I'm just going to keep calling it a mane. Make sure to brace the back side or it might slip right off as you're doing this. Be very gentle. And just try to go all the way around. We'll do the back side. Gonna be a bit more force on the back because it's not as seen. So we'll add more pressure so it's really stuck on. I'm almost pushing into it and pressing down, like in that way, then down. So I'm grabbing some of the clay off of this part and then setting it on there, as you can see. Okay, and we'll bring this part down into a point more. And we'll do the same on this side. Actually, I'm going to cut this little corner off because there's a bit much. Very gentle. Oops, almost peeling that away. That goes in there. Going back around, trying to make it a smoother surface. And we have a decent little thing there. I think it looks pretty nice. Scoop up this red. Okay, let's see. I think we could maybe push in this corner a little. Just roll it. Maybe do the same with this one. Just gonna flip it to the other side so it's easier. Doesn't have to be perfect by any means. It can be just like this, and I think that's quite good. Oh, the hand keeps falling down. That's okay. Now, it looks like we just have some blue eyes to add, some light blue eyes. And I actually do not have any light blue. So we'll have to make some very quickly. And we'll just pull out some blue. Cut a little piece off. You don't need much at all. But we'll make a little extra because you never know when you need a little light blue. Okay, and we'll add a piece of white there. And then we'll just mix it together. I just press and fold and press and fold and just keep doing that over and over. And then eventually you'll see it's starting to turn more light blue and the white's mixing into the blue. And then we have some nice light blue. Now, I'm not sure. It looks like I might even want a lighter blue. Really, anything's... It doesn't have to be any particular color. You know, I think that looks like a nice contrasting blue to the red. So we'll use that. Put that piece away. Gonna throw this piece away. It's always great to save your colors for later use, because you never know when you're gonna need some of these colors. And I have this little scrap here. It's not bad. I'll just throw it in there. Okay. Now we'll take our blue. They look like decent little balls. And I think they look like they're flattened. So we're gonna pre-flatten them a little before we throw it on to the face. Okay, we have that ball. And really, you could use your finger, but you're kind of gonna leave a fingerprint in it if you do. So I'm just gonna use like this, the back of this. Push down slightly Don't want too much force. There we go. That's a pretty big eye, and we'll do the same with this one. And then slide it off very gently. Okay. Let's see. These might be too big, but if they are, we'll just redo them. That's not too bad. They're kind of a different size, though. I would say it's a good size. This one just needs to be a little bigger. So we'll push a little harder. Now I feel like this one's too big. Which I'm sure would be easy to fix. Oop. Yeah, it is. Now this one's too big. And this one's too small. I think I can just squish this one on all the sides just slightly. And then it'll become the same size as the other one. In fact, it looks almost a little small there. Okay, push that one on. That's pretty good. Gotta fix this point a little. I think that looks pretty nice. Is there anything else to really add on? Other than the fingers? I don't know. I feel like that's pretty good. Nice. Let's put them in the back. I don't know. The face just seems a little empty to me. But I guess it's fine. And here we have our ending Flatwoods Monster. Pretty nice. The hands could maybe be a little smoother. Have some fingers. I don't know, something, I feel like the head needs more, but maybe that's just because I'm used to heads having noses and mouths and whatnot. But it's a nice little Flatwoods Monster. I hope you enjoyed this clay cryptids, and have a wonderful day. Bye.